In this video, I'm going to explain the top 6 myths that I have heard about tech sales. I'm going to tell you if they're right, or I'm going to tell you if they are wrong. So let's dive in. The first myth that I've heard time and time again about tech sales is that it has inconsistent pay. So if you're like me and you've heard of any type of sales careers, you know that the pay can be super inconsistent. I'm here to tell you tech sales is not like that. Let me explain why. In other industries like solar, like car sales, like real estate, like insurance, you can make a ton of money if you sell something, if you sell the solar, if you sell the cars, if you sell your product. And if you don't sell them, you make nothing. The reason tech sales is not the same is because you have just as much high side, just as much upside. You can make ridiculous commissions, but even if you have months where it's slow, where you don't sell anything, you still have your base pay. So for starters, business development reps, the entry role in tech sales, they're typically making about 75 to up to 100K per year. And generally, you're not going to see a tech sales rep, a BDR, have a base salary lower than 50K. So that would mean if they did not even hit quota, if they basically did awful for the entire year, they would make 50K, and that just doesn't happen. You're usually going to see most business development reps making about 75K per year. Once you advance beyond that, and you're an account executive, your base pay goes up to about 75K per year. Sometimes I've seen it be 100 or 150K. Those are for more advanced positions at higher organizations. But the bottom line is you get really comfortable and really generous base pays. The next myth that I've heard about tech sales is that it is too hard to get into. It's too competitive. So a lot of people have told me, Jacob, I have no sales background. Jacob, there are people that are a lot more qualified than me. There are people that are a lot better for me. Let me tell you why that is just not correct, why that is a myth. First and foremost, there are so many tech jobs available. There are about 4,000 of these jobs posted every couple of days. So there are no shortage of tech jobs out there. And aside from that, the people who are super good at tech sales and they have sold a lot, they've been in sales for forever, they're not going for the entry-level positions where you're making 75 to 100K per year. They're going for those positions where you're making 200, 250, 300K per year. And the reason is because they've already been there. They've already worked in the entry-level position. And a lot of these companies are not going to hire these super qualified individuals for these entry-level positions. And the reason is because they know this person is way too advanced. It's a red flag if they're still trying to get an entry-level tech sales position. So that means the business development roles where you're making 75 to 100K per year, those roles are wide open. There is not too much competition out there. The next myth that I've heard about tech sales is you have to work a ton of hours. Now let me explain. In tech sales, there's one of two ways. You can go the work-life balance where you basically hit quota, you hit your numbers, and you work very minimal hours. And so I know a lot of tech sales reps who are only working 20 hours a week, making 75 to 100K per year. And then there are the other side of tech sales reps who decided, hey, I want to go all in. I want to promote very quickly. I want to make a ton of money. I'm going to blow my quota out of the water. That's kind of where I fall into things. And so those reps are working more towards that 40-hour-a-week mark. Meanwhile, you do have reps that work 20 hours a week. So you can really do it either way. It's all dependent on your goals, on what your work-life balance needs to be. If you have a family, if you need to help out your family, different things like that, but you control your own schedule in tech sales. You can work really as little or as much as you need to. The next myth that I've heard about tech sales is that you need a degree to get started. You don't need to. This one's super easy. There is no degree required to get in tech sales. Most of these companies do not care if you have a degree. Is it bad to have a degree? By no means. Sometimes it can help you, but most companies just simply don't care. When I got into tech sales, I didn't have a degree. And then to piggyback off of that, some people say, well, Jacob, I probably have to have a ton of product knowledge. I have to be experienced with technology. You really don't have to. You can know next to nothing about technology or software. You get hired, your company teaches you everything from the ground up. You really have to have no prior knowledge of the technology you're selling, what software it is. You don't have to have any coding skills, none of that. If you are into being in sales and you want to be a salesperson, this is the job for you. And the last myth that I've heard time and time again about tech sales, and this is one of the biggest ones, is that you need to be a closer to be in tech sales. You need to be a true salesman. You need to know how to sell. That's not true. There's two ways you can really go about it in tech sales. You can be a business development rep or you can be an account executive. What the account executives do is they actually sell the software to other companies. And so their commissions are very huge. They're 5, 10, 15, 20K per deal. And that's great and all, but some people don't want to do that. They don't want the pressure of selling to businesses and selling to all these companies. And so you can take just the business development route. And what that is, you are not selling a single thing. All you are doing is you are contacting the businesses that your company gives you, and you are setting meetings for them to talk to your account executive. That's literally all you do. You can make a complete career out of being a business development rep. Most people don't do it just because they know how high the upside is of progressing past the business development rep. But there are also organizations where you can make $200K as a business development rep. Let me be clear, those are very rare. They're few and far between, but they are out there. So no, you do not need to know how to sell. You don't have to be a crazy closer to be in tech sales. You just have to be willing to learn. From there, you can decide if you want to be in the closing role or in the appointment setting role. There's plenty of money to be made in both. So I hope by going through some of these myths, you learned a little bit more about tech sales. I will tell you this, if this is something that interests you at all, dive in. You will not regret it. This career has changed more lives than I can count. Gives you an amazing work-life balance. You're able to build incredible wealth very early, and it's an enjoyable career. So if you want to know how to get in tech sales and if you want to learn more about it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. I release these videos every day, and I want to help you get a tech sales job. See you later.